We are learning more about the rescue of those two women reported missing from Topsham nearly a week ago now. And today we're hearing from the warden who found them.
Kimberly Pouchard and Angela Bussell were found nearly 3 hours from home near Nicatawas Lake yesterday afternoon. That's in an unorganized territory of East Hancock. And despite being stuck on a logging road out there for what wardens believe was a few days, the women are okay. I spoke with the game warden who found them. Brad Richard had already finished his search area, but on a whim decided to ride his snowmobile down a logging road. 1 mile in, he found the car.
Came around the corner and there's the car. It was all covered with snow. Didn't look like anybody had been around it. I could see beyond the car that there was a couple of sets of foot tracks that went away from the car. Couldn't tell whether they came back, and so I stopped, shut my snowmobile off, and at that point I'm processing what I need to, what's next, because the fact of the matter, they've been in the woods missing essentially for 4 days. It's been below zero, very cold, so I hollered. I said, hello, game warden. And I did it twice. And just a few seconds later, the door opened to the car. And she just she didn't even step out onto the ground. She just kind of peered around and she goes, hello. And I said, Kim? She goes, how did you know my name? And I says, we've been looking for you. So I went up and I talked to them both for a few minutes and made sure they were okay. And, they were essentially very cold, but they were okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, were you sort of mentally preparing when you came upon that car? Were you sort of mentally preparing for the fact that you may be finding these women dead?
Yes, absolutely. That's as good a description as you could ask for.
And so what was your reaction when she popped open that door and said hello?
I would have liked to have had somebody take a picture of my face to see what I was actually, because it was I was amazed.
Okay, two other remarkable things from this search. Warden Richard says that because it had snowed Friday night, the car would have just been impossible to see from the air. They had an airplane out, they had a helicopter out searching, but it was covered in snow.
Yeah.
Now, and the women had run out of gas. They said a day and a half earlier before he found them, and it had dropped down to 15 below out there. He'd also run into about a dozen snowmobilers. He said that day they were riding on the snowmobile trail 1 mile from that car, but people were looking for a car. So he was the one who saw tracks, but faint tracks. They were tough to see.
And as you said, by chance, just happened to go down there and be like, let me look.
Right. Yeah, just incredible story. And we're actually going to hear from a family member too coming up later on tonight. You can listen to the warden's entire story, by the way, on our website and our News Center Maine app.
And to your question, I can't imagine what was going through his mind to, okay, I have to approach this vehicle now.
Right.
Remarkable. All right, we'll hear much more of that tonight.